Soren Kierkegaard said, "There are two ways to be fooled. One is to believe what isn't true. The other is to refuse to believe what is true." George Orwell told us that in a time of deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act, while Aldous Huxley reminded us that facts do not cease to exist because they are ignored. Lastly, Joe Class said, "The truth will set you free. But first, it will piss you off." This is the news show, Whiskey Hell. Think critically. Act accordingly.
Saturday, April 13th, 7:23 in the evening. It's the end of the world. World War III, Fitz, did you hear? It's all over the place.
Yay! I mean, wait, what? Oh, yeah, I did see a little bit of that. I don't know. I saw a blurb or something. I don't know.
We're all going to die.
Some country that starts with an I is attacking another country that starts with an I, and that means World War III. But when the first country that starts with an I attacked the other country that starts with an I, when they attacked them, it wasn't World War III, but now it is. And so, like, I'm not confused at all. It sounds great. Let's do it.
I just wish they'd fucking get on with it. Like, this
Right?
isn't even funny anymore. It's just nonsense. It's just a big fucking theater. Like, if you're shit or get off the pot, okay? This isn't like extortion. You're not just doing this for money. Okay? Just fucking do it.
You're so obviously doing it for money, and it's not like you said, like extortion, but it's to generate, money for the war. Pretty soon they're going to show up and having us start making victory gardens.
As long as you register your victory garden, as long as you register it, you can do that.
Right. And I still can't collect rainwater, but that's another story. Yeah. So interesting day today. You could almost feel it coming. And I say that because of the markets. Gold spiked, Bitcoin spiked, and then it dropped off.
Taxes are due next week.
Taxes are due Monday. So I don't know. Just we've been calling this for a while. You know what's interesting? I have a friend. She's actually one of my martial arts students. She has 3 children. 2 of her children, her 2 sons, are both. One is in the Air Force, and the other is he doesn't really say, but I'm pretty sure he works for Blackwater.
Okay.
He's in Jordan, and the other one was stationed in Turkey. The other one just happened to be on leave this week and was coming home, and he put in the leave. They put a no leave. You can't put in any leave last month, but he had already had this one in because I forget why. It was some family thing. And so they're letting him come home. So he's actually in Tucson right now, luckily. And then the other one is stuck. He was supposed to be flying out of Amman, Jordan, and he got stuck there. But he's not on duty. So, on the human side of this, I guess my whole point is that there are actual people over there. We do have American soldiers over there. The situation is very fluid, very unsafe, I would say. And it's just like you said, what the fuck are we doing? Shit or get off the pot. All this posturing, all this theater. It's dumb. This is people's lives.
And that really is what it comes down to. Really is what it comes down to. You're just jerking the whole world around. And you're doing it for head fakes, a little cash in the coffers, and it's all stuff that could have easily been swept under the rug if we just stopped fucking around with every other country that's around here. So it's sad. Hope everybody stays safe. I know we've got some listeners that have kids that are overseas right now. I hope they stay safe, and I hope everybody stays safe. But how's your week? Besides that, I mean, this is a fast way to start the show, but let's not bury the lead here. How did you do this week?
Yeah. I did okay. It was one of those weeks where I felt like I woke up Monday morning and then it was Friday. I was so busy. I was moving and just on my feet all week. I mean, so for that, it was enjoyable. I had a couple other, just the dumb shit that comes up at work. I hear me out, okay? Because I want to get to your week, but hear me out. I think I'm gonna pick up noodling. I think I'm gonna start noodling.
Okay.
And I mean, for those of you who don't know, okay, get your heads out of the gutter, and I'm talking to you, Tabby. Um, it has nothing to do with penises or it's fishing by hand in shallow water. Um, so here's why. All right, first of all, according to TikTok, nothing but beautiful women do this sport. All right, they're all just
Apparently.
beautiful, right? So it's a chance to meet some ladies.
Okay.
Second of all, you have a food source, like you have actual dinner to cook that night.
Okay.
And third of all, while you're there, you're also bathing. So I'm three birds, one stone. What do you think?
I think you're starting the first Whiskey Hell noodling team.
All right. Yes, I knew you'd
I
be
don't.
behind this. I knew it.
We'll get jerseys made. They'll be tank tops, and they'll be
Jerseys. Oh well, we need a sponsorship now.
absolutely. We'll get like
We
an
need
airboat
corporate.
company.
Yeah, we need corporate sponsorship. An airboat. Anyway, how was your week, dude? How was your week?
I was sick all week, so
Oh no.
yeah, I've been struggling with whatever that is. But I'll tell you something: NyQuil and an edible at night is amazing.
Oh shit, what were your dreams like?
They weren't exceptionally intense, but man, when I went under, it was like I was under and done. Like
Yeah.
I was out, and out again. Yeah.
I mean, I NyQuil gives me weird, like always bizarre dreams.
Yeah.
And never violent, just weird shit like purple cats and stuff. And then I would think if you threw an edible on top of that, I don't know, I might have to try it. We're gonna call that the McShane special. I may have to try
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I have a couple others that I want to try with that because why wouldn't you?
Well, of course.
Maybe I'll do that tonight. But the one I was messing with was more like a melatonin type edible.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I have another one that we'll see what that we'll
You
see
know,
if that like this chat says, see if that puts me in outer space or not.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like as we get older, and I'm specifically talking about Generation X, but really, if you identify with this, you're allowed to these days. You can identify as an older person if you want. Um, but specifically Gen X, don't you feel like we've become chemists in our like 40s? Like we know our bodies so well, and we've basically tried everything, so we know what works for us, we know what doesn't. Like
Oh
pot
yeah.
doesn't do anything for me unless it's in an edible. I could smoke 10 bowls, nothing. I take one edible. Well, we told our Vegas story, so
Yes, we did.
yeah, we're like chemists. I know which beers to combine if I want a certain kind of buzz, or which beers to stay away from if I don't want to fucking feel like shit in the morning.
Right.
So I don't know. I just feel like we're like mad scientists.
I agree.
Um,
I agree.
yeah,
And we're just getting older and wiser, so everybody's just gonna have to deal
yeah.
with that.
And I saw a I saw a meme today. I gotta share it. It said, hey, for all of you out there who think that you're gonna, if chaos breaks out, you're gonna start pushing old people in a crowd. Um, Gen Xers invented the mosh pit, and we know a thing or two about being pushed around. I was like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that would be
hmm
bad news for some little whippersnapper Gen Zer. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna push the old guy, and then you're now no longer living.
Yep. Agreed.
Anyway, had to share.
What
Well, I'm sorry you're sick.
beer?
Hopefully the beers kick in for you. Yeah, okay. All right, beers.
Yep.
Beer time. All right. Yeah, did I just forget the name? Damn it. It's pumpkin something artisanal ales. Pumpkin
Oh,
something
Jolly
artisanal
Pumpkin.
ales. Jolly pumpkin. Thank you. Yes.
Yep.
Yes, I
Okay.
should have. I remembered because that's what I call my penis. Anyway, it's a Jolly Pumpkin artisanal ale. It poured like yellow, like the sun. It was like a
Okay.
ray of God's urine right in my right in my cup.
Nice.
Yeah. So and it smells sour. There's some hop in there too. So I don't know really what I'm getting into here. I looked at her and I said, "This is not another pumpkin sour, is it? Please, no more of that for a while. At least not until fall." Anyway, she would not tell me. So I don't even know if it's not a pumpkin sour. So
All right.
here we go. All right.
Well, I'm envious because we haven't been able to get Jolly Pumpkin out here in years. Fantastic artisanal beer. We're talking mostly wild stuff, farmhouses and sours.
I was just about to say this is a very wild farmhouse. It's exactly what this is.
Okay.
And I say wild because there's all kinds of shit going on in here. You got your subtle bananas, maybe even a little bit of bread in there, but it's not. I'm not saying hef. It's not hef territory, but you just kind of have those notes. But
Right.
then I'm also getting like a licorice, some really earthy stuff here too, like sticks and bark and maybe some tobacco.
Interesting. Are you? Is it sour at all or no?
It's sour-ish. It's sour and bitter. But not distastefully, not bitter like, oh God, I don't want to have this. More like, hey, we're gonna hit you up front with the sour, but then on the back end, you're gonna want more. We're gonna make you thirsty.
Interesting.
Wow.
You might have. I don't know what that one's gonna be.
Yeah. I don't know. I was looking at your screen too, and I mean, any or all of those could be it, honestly. It's definitely up. Okay,
I'm gonna pick La
Is
Roja.
Is that your
Yeah.
okay?
That's the red, but it's a Flemish though, so it should be a little. It should be. Sounds like it should be a little more sour than what you got.
Yeah,
there.
but this isn't red. I mean, like I said, it's beautiful yellow, golden yellow. All right, well, let's see what we got. Big reveal.
All right.
All right, this is the Oro, ORO,
There we
Wild Artesian Golden Ale. Spicy and peppery with a gentle hop bouquet and the beguiling influence of wild yeast. Yeah, this thing is wild all over the place. Well, shit, nice job. What a cool beer. You know what? You don't get beers like this. You just don't see them very often. So I'm very pleased with it. Honestly, this is a unique experience because like I said, there's notes of flavors that I can identify, but then there's just like this fucking wild Viking berserker running around and slashing my taste buds. It's nuts.
Neat.
Yeah. So 6 to 9 months in oak barrels with this thing. 8%er.
Yeah, and that's like I said, we haven't gotten those guys out here in a really, really long time. That's unfortunate. But I never ever had one of their beers that wasn't just very, very fun.
Yeah. Yeah, this is it's wild. I feel like every sip is going to bring me something different. Like I'm on a fucking adventure. This is like D&D in a glass.
Neat. All right.
Like let's do this. Yeah. What do you got? What are you drinking?
So I am rolling heavy again. Right out of the gate, I'm going with a big 13%er, but this is a Scotch ale.
Love ale song.
And I think I have a small video to go along with it.
I'm here to tell you about Kentucky Kilt, which is being released soon. It's the 4th year we've done this, but what makes this vintage special is the bourbon barrels we use to age this Scotch ale in. It's included in 10-year McKenna, 14-year George Dickel, and 18-year Elijah Craig barrels. Super malt forward, sweet, caramel, bourbon, good beer. Kentucky Kilt, where the Highlands meet the holler.
So there you go. But I do love me a Scotch ale, and the fact that it's bourbon barreled, you can't smell the bourbon. Oh, thick caramel. Whiskey bread pudding.
Oh, nice. Oh, shit. That just brought me back. I haven't had any of that in a while.
Buttery. Oh, man, that is... Oh, that's nice.
You know,
That's
Tabby,
really nice.
Tabby in chat said, you got some Kentucky in you. Tabby, just knowing you and Mike, we've all got some Kentucky in us.
Very true.
Right? I mean, you just meet these people and you're like, all right, I'm now infected with all of the good that they have to bring to the world. So yeah, we're all part of it now. I'm Kentucky. You're Kentucky. We're all Kentucky.
Ow. That's really sweet.
Well, anyway, let's get to some bullshit news. Actually, you know, we have Jefe coming in here, rocking and rolling. Hopefully he's coming in hot. That guy, he was telling us before the show, he has not broken $300 in a while for a night.
That's
and
true.
So I think if all of us can just be sending the good vibes and pulling for him, I really do. I hope he pops on here and he's like, holy shit, I'm already at 550. I don't think that's going to happen, but that's what I'm hoping for.
All right. Well, I think we should all put good thoughts into Jefe right now. While we're waiting for El Jefe to come in, big thank you to everybody who's in chat tonight. You guys have switched some names around here, so this would be interesting. Beard of Liberty, Dan Crenshaw's eye patch, which is, I know that's I had to say it, pod. That's Aaron. Oh, yeah. We've got Jerry Zero tonight. L is here. Tabby from Gray's Taproom, and Mr. Mike from Gray's Taproom. You are here as well. We'll see who else is able to join us a little bit. But thank you very much. And thank you to everybody who is a new listener. We did pick up a bunch of new listens over the last week. We did a little advertising. And thanks for joining. Thanks for following the Twitter feed at whiskey_hell. And thanks for listening to the show. Fitz, did you know that our ad was retweeted by 9 liberal accounts? And every one of them had progressive in their profile, and every one of them had something snarky to say. And assuming that we're MAGA, I love that was the assumption that was made. But that's what happened with the advertising this week.
Well, I mean, I think that kind of goes back to what Elon said, right? When he was on, I think he was on Rogan, but Rogan was asking him, like, you're being accused of being like an extreme right wing, a right wing extremist, and Elon basically said, like, when you go so far to the left, anything that's not over there is gonna seem like extreme far right.
That's what it is.
Rhetoric.
That's
yeah. So anything that isn't, pro everything that the liberal left woke is, then you're not part of our cult. And so you're out. Like, if you don't believe all the things, then you can't believe any of the things. So yeah, we must look like far right extremists to those accounts. I just appreciate the retweet. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, it was really fascinating. It was. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, I believe. Do we have a Jefe sighting?
We do. We've got a Jefe sighting. Jefe,
Hola.
Welcome to the Extreme Right podcast, Whiskey Hell. How are you?
You guys finally came out of the closet, huh?
Yeah, as right-wing extremists.
Yep, that's what we do.
I've been calling you guys that for years.
Yeah, well, I mean, right. Especially because my, well, anyway, we were having requests for the farm report, and I was just thinking, any show that has a weekly farm report on it might be right-leaning. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know.
Oh my gosh. You know what? That's right.
I didn't even think about that.
That's a really good point.
It is a good point.
Do we have a farm report tonight?
We do. Yeah, we do.
Oh, good. Because
do you want to hit it now, or do you want to hit it later? Do you want to leave him hanging? Do you have a teaser for him?
Yeah, let's tease it a little bit.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna make
Like
it
my
the
band.
edge.
Tease me.
Yeah, let's edge them.
All right.
You know what I just did?
Tell us slowly.
This is gonna be good.
I just did a. Hey, how's it going?
Hi.
Live show. You just did an 8-ball off a hooker's ass.
I just did a massive 4-ball off a hooker's ass. The 4-ball. High gal, blackjack, mucker, roulette.
Ooh.
And so you made exactly $7.
I made $175 on roulette.
Whoa, nice.
Off of roulette?
Yep, not quite like that video we saw today.
Yeah.
But the guy was betting $10 per spot on about 8 numbers, and every time he'd hit, he'd throw like $35-$40.
Nice.
That's solid.
That's huge.
So anytime you can make, 50 on roulette, I'm good. So this is a good start to the night.
That's a fantastic start.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Jefe, I really before you came on, I had everybody who's in chat. We were all sending our the best vibes of the best vibe. Like we were sending our Kentucky vibes, right? Like straight from Kentucky.
Kentucky vibes.
Right into your anus, and apparently it paid off, and to the tune of $175. So that makes me happy because I was dreading. I was thinking you were going to come on and be like, yeah, I've made a total of $7, but that's great news.
Yeah, my anus gladly accepted that.
Oh, I know it did. I mean anything from Kentucky, right? Oh yeah.
Fried chicken, other Kentucky things, anything from Kentucky.
Bourbon,
thank you. Yes.
NASCAR.
Rolling Hills.
I'm not sure that was from Kentucky, but I know they like NASCAR in Kentucky. So
horse racing.
Could you imagine having a bunch of tiny, tiny, tiny little cars just driving circles around your butthole?
Oh, that wouldn't be so bad.
Oh yeah, Kentucky Derby. You got horse dick. Mr. Hand from Kentucky? I don't think he was.
Who?
Mr. Hand, the guy that got fucked to death by a horse.
Oh,
did you ever see that video? That's a hard one to watch.
That's okay. No, I thought Mr. Hand was on South Park.
Oh, I don't know if they had a character on South Park named that, but pretty sure that's the guy's name. He was a doctor, and he went down to Mexico at one of those, one of those shows,
yeah.
and the horse actually killed him.
Wow.
I'm not making this up. Go look it up if you want.
This show just took a very hard right. Actually, that's probably left, isn't it? That's probably left.
That's a left, yeah, because
that's
all
more
sexual
of a progressive
orientations.
thing.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was a progressive thing to have happen.
Wow, see how easily we can take this show to extreme wokeism.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Yeah, it really, really is. Anything can be
Play
woke
both
if you try
sides.
hard enough.
Yeah, right. And
I stand corrected. Mr. Hand was a South Park. It was, and that was Mr. Garrison's puppet. That's who I was thinking about.
That's right.
Yeah,
it was the puppet.
And there's also a Mr. Hand in Fast Times at Ridgemont High too.
Well, this was a guy, and I believe that was an alias that he went by when he went down to go do these sex shows. But it was that was his kink, to get railed by a horse, and this particular stallion really, just had a vigorous evening.
Theater of the mind, right there. All right.
I'm sorry, I don't know where that came from. My mind is so full of useless shit. It's not even funny. Hey, Jefe, just not to switch gears at all here, but you will hear the show. But I'd like to invite you to be on the Whiskey Hell noodling team.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna noodle.
Okay. What
Okay.
do I have to learn to do anything?
Yeah, you have to be able to catch fish with your bare hand.
Okay.
Like you have to be able to fist a fish, but from the other end, from the mouth end.
Okay.
and look and mingle with beautiful women. And then also my argument was that it's a triple shot. You also get to bathe while you're doing this, incredible sport.
Okay. Does it pay anything or?
Well, we're going to get sponsored. So yeah,
we're going to get sponsored. Right. Exactly. We're going to get sponsorship. And also you get, whatever you catch, you get to eat, so you get fed for a day.
Sweet.
You know, Jesus's quote, noodle for a man, you feed him for a day, but teach him to noodle.
Yeah.
Feed him for a lifetime.
Amen.
Exactly.
I think we get some bug repellent companies to cover us on that too. I think that would be cool.
Hey, did you guys? Oh, go ahead, Jefe.
Mine's really, as usual. I saw a sign in my kid's house on the wall in the bathroom, and it said, "Wash your hands, wash your hands, and say your prayers, because Jesus and germs are everywhere." And I took that as wash your hands because Jesus is everywhere, and say your prayers because germs are everywhere. I kind of lined it up that way. Does that sound about what you guys would do with it?
It never. I mean, yes, yeah, 100%.
Okay.
I mean, it never ceases to amaze me that, still to this day. I mean, we're in 2024. We're not talking like we're in the 1500s and nobody knows how to stop diarrhea. This is 2024, and the church is still trying to use fear to get people to believe in their cause. It's all fear based.
Every church is, though. I mean, you look at if we want to get political about it, Islam's all over the place, and oh my God, if you don't join the club.
Yeah, I mean, I guess yes. Any of the Middle Eastern religions all use, because they go back to the Torah, where when God didn't like your tribe, he just
wiped
literally
you the fuck out.
Yeah, he just struck you with lightning and watched you burn. But I mean, you got Buddhism out there. That's zero fear based. You got the Wiccans are out there doing their thing, casting spells and shit. There's no fear there. I don't know. It's just funny that you would think the Catholic Church as sort of the head of Christianity, I guess. Maybe they're not the head, but as the leading edge of that would have changed their tune and been like, hey, you know what? Let's stop scaring the shit out of people. Let's just say, hey, there's a better way to do things. But I guess that's not enough. The carrot is not enough. We got to have the stick too.
Yeah.
And yes, Tabby, to your point, she said, fuck spells. They just want to be naked and dancing in the moonlight and fire. What do you think a spell is? That would put a spell on me, watching a bunch of beautiful women dancing in the firelight naked.
I'm going to go be Wiccan.
That's a spell. Yeah, I will be their male. You know what they used to do? They used to coax ejaculate sperm from a male to be able to use it in their spells. And I want to be the coaxee.
The coaxed?
Yeah. Basically, they're all fluffers, and
You're just there for the party.
I get fluffed. I'm here for the spell.
Yeah, Aaron, you're a spell donor. That's what you are.
I am the spell donor. Exactly.
Well, we're going to start our whiskey hell religion. There's no reason why that can't be a part of it.
Noodle by day, Wiccan by night, or fluffing by night. Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah, I got my 5th anniversary for my ministership. They sent me an email to remind me that, hey, it's been 5 years. You should go marry somebody.
You should re-update.
Yep.
Re-up your vows. I mean, you can remarry us. For those of you who don't know, McShane performed my wedding ceremony. I wouldn't have had anyone else do it. You were the first and only choice. But yeah, I mean, if you need to re-up your vows or whatever, I'll fly you up here to remarry us.
Well, I think that's definitely in order, but I think I should just start blessing certain beer. In fact, I have beers to send to Aaron and the Grays, and I'm going to bless those before I send them.
Nice. And by blessing, well, I mean, don't ask. I guess don't ask, don't tell. Right?
No, there
That's a
won't
don't
be
ask,
any
don't tell policy.
ejaculate. No, I won't. I will not ejaculate near the beers. I won't. That's not.
Well, you
was that what
ejaculated
is that
at
where
my
you were going?
wedding. Well, you.
Well,
That's
that was,
that's what I paid you $28 for.
Thanks for the tip. I appreciate it.
Did you freeze it like you said you're going to do, Fitz?
Just the tip. Oh yeah, it's still in there. It's one of many ice cubes, and you just never know which one you're gonna get.
Like
and I'm just hoping I haven't gotten it.
Some companies freeze their cake.
Yeah.
You froze McShane's nut.
Yeah.
Jefe, do you want us to hold any of the O.J. Simpson talk or the Akebono talk?
No, I don't care.
Hey, don't forget about Fitz.
Oh yeah. What about the Yankees pitcher that traded his family with another guy?
I didn't read that.
You didn't read that one? Okay, we
No.
might have to. We'll save that one for later then, along with
yeah.
the average penis size world map that we've got to share.
Okay, that sounds good.
All right.
All right, I'll see you in a
And the
little bit.
farm report.
Yep.
All
All right,
right.
man.
All right. See ya.
Later. By the way, Jefe did a really poor job there of edging all of us, so I just want everyone to know I'm edging myself right now.
That's fantastic.
I mean,
You just
listen,
edge right along, and
if you're not gonna do it, I will. Mike, same. Oh God, this show is so wrong. Oh,
but
what a
it's so
motley
right.
crew. Oh, it's so right. Best part of my week.
All right. So we've already started out the show with the big report where everybody's eyes are looking today. But let's go to some stuff that should have been paid way more attention to during the week. Let's go to NPR.
Yeah. That's a great leadoff, honestly.
So, a senior business editor for NPR came out this week and has a story in the Free Press. You can go to thefreepress.com, take a look at it, or check out our show notes. They're right there. He's been at NPR for 25 years, and he writes to America how we lost America's trust. And everything that we said, Fitz, everything. We had shows during COVID, through the elections, talking about how NPR had lost its way and it was so fucking far left that we could. And this was a format that really it brought old time radio, the art of the story.
Yes.
And the research, the weaving of a tale, music, it merged everything. And it was honestly, it was one of the best experiences week in, week out, period. I mean, you would go Saturday morning, I would listen to Car Talk, Wait, Don't Tell Me, and a couple other things. Yep. But then all of a sudden,
Ira Glass.
Ira Glass. Yep.
His show was one of the. I didn't even know what a driveway moment was until I heard This American Life. And then I had more driveway moments with him and powerful, like sitting in the car laughing or crying or being upset or pissed. I mean, I was so into NPR for so many years, for so long. And then, like you said, then there just became this moment, and it was definitely during COVID, where you just went like, wait, what? Like I'm following like actual science. I know what makes sense to me, and you're saying exactly the opposite. And then it was almost like they had to like double down on their bad bet just to make up what they were losing. And then they doubled down on that. And then it was like, they just got so far away from what the truth could be that they were unlistenable to. I mean, every day I used to start my day with NPR, and now I can't stand them. And so I guess I'm one of those millions that they've lost our faith, our trust.
Oh, absolutely. And this all started back in 2016 when Trump came into office.
Well, that was that's probably when it started. Yeah.
I mean that's when the ball got rolling, but then it picked up steam and it got worse and worse and worse to the point that they have to, this was part of the machine that was able to seriously taint the 2020 election. Pumping the Russian propaganda about the laptop, everything that went with COVID, completely ignoring the science, like you said. That's what they did. 87 of their journalists are liberal. They're registered Democrats. There are no newsroom individuals that are conservative at all.
Not one. And mind you, one of the reasons that I think we are all allowed to be pissed about that is that NPR runs off of public funding.
It does. Yep.
There's a little bit of corporate sponsorship, but not much. I mean, they do their, listener drives it used to be twice a year. Now I think they're doing it like every month because they just don't have enough money. And then on top of it, they get I think it's a 25% subsidy from the federal government every year just to operate, just to go. And then everything else is listener supported. It's like, I'm not giving my money to you when you're literally lying to me. And now here comes the proof. I mean, here comes Yuri, just coming out of nowhere and being like, yes, we lied about Trump because we couldn't let him win. Yes, we lied about the Hunter laptop because we couldn't let Trump win. Yes, we gave disinformation on COVID because we were told to by our sponsors, which were, oh, by the way, pharmaceutical. Just damning stuff. But
it's vindicating for us because we called this shit
very much so.
Years and years ago. So that came out this week, and it's still that way. And it's been interesting. I guess there's been a lot of feedback in their office, and they're pretty pissed off at this guy for going out and actually posting all of this. And I'm hats off to him.
Yeah,
I think it's fantastic. I'm glad he did.
Let's out him. And you know what? Maybe this will. Listen, NPR has a choice now. They can choose to let this and well, hold on. Let me finish my statement. They can choose to let this bring them down. Like they can try and deny it and say, no, that never happened. We are upstanding journalists. Or they can say, shit, he's right, and we need to do better.
Yep.
There's an article out.
They're choosing the former.
And they're choosing the former right now. Right. There's an article, their rebuttal, which by the way was only written by and touted by other NPR journalists, but their rebuttal was no, that's not true. And just because we have some diversity here doesn't mean that we don't appreciate the right side. Well, then, as McShane said, why are 87 of your journalists, not one of them, 87 out of 87 are all registered Democrats? That you can't say that you're a diverse newsroom when you have stats like that. So, yeah.
And you can't say that you represent you can't say that you're representing the American people either.
Well, no, of course not. The American people are diverse. And, I guess maybe that could possibly get to the crux of it, is that somewhere along the line, the left confused diversity with, I guess, anti-whiteness, anti-white maleness.
Well, that's definitely out there. Yeah.
Right. And right. So it's like, hey, we want to have a more diverse newsroom. That's a statement I can agree with. But that statement gets taken to the extreme of, we can't have any non-democratic, white people in this newsroom. Yep. That's the extreme it got taken to.
Yeah. Everybody's going to be progressive. Everybody's going to be woke. We're not going to have any white males.
And
left-leaning female journalists apparently are just fine.
Well, sure. And anybody who used to be a male and now they identify as a white female, that's fine. We've joked about that before, that you go so far in one direction. I mean, we live on a globe here. I mean, sorry, flat earthers, but we live on a globe. And if you keep going in one direction far enough, you'll get back to where you started. And I feel like the left has gone so far that they are actually what they hate. They are actually bigots. They are actually racists. They are actually discriminatory. And they are no longer merit-based. Their whole big argument was it should be based on merit, no matter the color of your skin, religion, etc. I can get behind that. Mm-hmm. But that's not what they're doing.
No.
And so, yeah, they have become what they hated. And that's the risk of taking a stand, a non-flexible stand on anything. I feel like part of this show, one of the comments that I've heard several times is people like the back and forth between you and I. Yes, we also have our chat. We have Jefe coming in as a wrecking ball every once in a while, but the heart of the show is that you can say something that I disagree with, and we can have a discussion about it.
Right.
That's healthy. That's the way it's supposed to be. Neither one of us are so rigid that it's like, no, you're fucking wrong. Get the fuck off the show. That's not what it's about. It's about having a dialogue. Two people die. Two. We have to have that in this country. There has to be a debate. There has to be a public forum where all ideas, conservative, woke, or otherwise, all ideas are welcome. And that's nowhere right now. I mean, I think you can find it in the podcasting world. I think all of us are pretty dedicated to that. But outside of that, there's this line, there's this divide drawn, and you're either on one side or you're on the other. I mean, I remember President Bush's statement after 9/11. He's like, you're either with us or you're against us. And I was like, I mean, okay.
There's a middle there. There's a middle ground.
Yeah, like okay, I'm with you that America got attacked. I'm not sure we should have a 20 fucking year war in Afghanistan over it and destroy that country just because we want their poppy seeds. So yeah, it's like you can't have, we're not a binary society. It's not black or white, but that's what the non-binary wokeists want it to be. You're either with us or you're not. You're against us. And that's not true.
Progressives are the new vegans. I will die on that hill.
I like that. That might be the title of the show. That's great.
I can't look past it. It's you either appreciate you either agree with them or you are a fascist.
Evil.
You're an extremist, and you're something to be cursed, assuming that the whole world agrees with them already. The vanity that comes from that crew is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
When if you look at the stats, majority of the country just wants to be left alone. The majority of the country is actually in the middle. And if you weren't such gigantic assholes, nobody would give a shit what you do. You could do whatever the fuck you want and nobody would care. But then you got to rub it in everybody's face. You got to push your agendas on everybody else. And this is where you get that annoying, toxic belief system that you just can't get out of. And it is absolutely surreal how absolutely awful it's turned into. So fuck NPR. Until they reform, they're still off the list. But that was vindication. We were definitely onto it 3 years before that ever came around.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So something that's popping up a great deal, and I think this should be on our radar because you got to figure that the U.S. government, and any governments really, let's face it, it's not just us, they're sticking their nose into other countries. And a big one that just popped up as far as free speech goes is Brazil. Yeah. This is going to be a big one to watch. We don't have to get in too deep with it, but Brazil is trying to shut down X because X is refusing to ban certain journalists, and they're not willing to just take off people's tweets just because the government of Brazil doesn't like it. Government from Brazil is, and I got to show you a picture of this guy, this one Supreme Court quote unquote justice. He looks like an evil villain. He's pretty fucking crazy looking.
I like evil villains, like Rasputin type.
I'll effort a picture of it. Go ahead and give a little bit more color on this, and I'll find a picture of this whack job.
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing about this story is that it's kind of, well, I will say without X, this story would have completely gone under the radar. None of us would have known one whisper about it. It was kind of one of those court cases that came up in another country, which, you know, who follows that kind of stuff? But because it's Elon and because we have X and people can literally post whatever they want to post, Elon brought it to our attention. Then other people started digging into it and really kind of finding out what the hell's going on. And it's kind of a big deal just because of the fact that X is, oh God. Yeah, I want to punch that guy in the face. Like hard.
Alexander de Moraes. That's the Supreme Court justice. There's better pictures. I'll find them, but that's
yeah.
it.
Well, he looks like a big guy too, so that'd be a good fight. Anyway, so this is important in the sense that if we had, I mean, if we're an isolationist country and we just say, all right, we're just going to close all the borders and we're going to do us, right? We're just going to be the U.S. and we're going to have our own economy and we're just fuck everyone else, then this wouldn't really be a big deal. But let's not forget, X is trying to be a one-stop shop for everything. Finance, you could pay people for goods and services like Venmo on it. They want to be an advertising service. They want to have, and are already starting to have, their own shows that are syndicated. So they want to be like a one-stop shop. It's not just a place where you just like you wake up and you're like, oh, I woke up with a heart on, and you tweet that. Like no one cares anymore. Like what you tweet needs to have actual substance. And yeah, that's Darth Vader. That's a pilgrim Darth Vader. That's Darth Pilgrim.
Just go out, just go Google him. He's a pretty freaky
He's
looking
a fucking
dude.
Sith. He's the Sith Lord. Anyway, and he looks like fucking Voldemort. Anyway, that's all. What I'm trying to get across here, I don't even know what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, what happens in Brazil, right now, what happens anywhere in the world happens everywhere in the world. I think we're all realizing that with, some really ridiculous stuff going on in Iran and Israel right now. Like, 70 years ago, we would have been like, oh, there's conflict in the Middle East, and everyone would have just gone about their day. But nowadays, it's World War III, and everybody's involved because we are this global village. So you can't sit back and go, well, whatever happens in Brazil doesn't affect me. That's not true. I believe Brazil is like 8th or 9th largest economy in the world. They also are part of BRICS, which is, a big deal. And so you can't just dismiss the fact that they want to literally ban. And I'm throwing shades of TikTok here because the U.S. is trying to ban TikTok. You can't make a blanket statement like that and not have it have some pretty major repercussions down the line. Things that we can't even fathom right now. It would change and shape those things. So it's a big deal. I'm glad it got out there in the public eye, and we can kind of watch it now, keep an eye on it. And like you said, we don't have to go too deep on it, but I guess all of that was to say that's why I care about this case, because it's not my money, but I think it has pretty big bearing on what happens in future events going forward.
So, in truly, I think you did nail it down. One of the things that we need to make sure of is that this is a litmus test. This if somebody can get away with this in Brazil, then suddenly you have some precedents. Well, it's not our government, it's not our constitution. It's being, devalued like what Brazil is trying here. If you start seeing those chinks in the armor, then somebody's going to get more brazen, and they're going to try and do something like that here. One of the interesting things that I kind of latched onto was that there's a NGO, non-governmental organization. It's called the Institute of Inspection and Control. Okay, this is in Brazil. They're the ones who are bringing, and very interesting verbiage, right?
Very.
They're dedicated to promoting transparency and combating corruption in public administration. It involves citizen monitoring, government actions, and expenditures aiming to enhance accountability and democratic governance. The IFC, self-proclaimed champions of transparency and anti-corruption, has launched a $200 million lawsuit against X. They're claiming the platform infringes upon Brazil's foundational principles of sovereignty and human rights by undermining judicial authority. So, because Elon Musk said, nah, we're not going to play ball, and has even gone as far as saying, we'll give free Starlink. We'll give free Starlink to people. We're not even going to charge them if you're going to ban us from Brazil. They're going to go ahead and honor their contracts and everything, and Brazil's trying to cancel those contracts because of this. It's going to be a fascinating study to kind of keep your eyes on. It really is.
And two things. Number one, on paper, Brazil is a free and public democracy. I mean, they are supposed to be of the people, by the people, just like we are. They modeled their constitution after the United States, and so this is scary on that end. The other angle that Jerry brought up in chat, Jerry Zero, could this be some elements of our own government? Throw in some sticks and stones Elon's way, because we can't do it here in this country because there's too many eyes on it. I 100%. I mean, you can't rule that out. CIA has their fingers and penises in every country in this
every
world,
orifice,
and they're fucking and fingering everybody all at once on all levels. And so, that could definitely be an element to this, if not the primary cause. I mean, that we have to acknowledge and address that, because going forward, whatever the decision, quote unquote, Brazil decides to make, will have bearing in this country. And that was kind of my argument. It's like, whatever happens down there is going to happen in a lot of places. And we just have to keep an eye on it, because, like it or not, X is it's the last bastion of free speech. It's a little Wild West still. There are some controls on that. Hate speech and certain things aren't tolerated. But for the most part, you can say what you need to say and get it out there. You can get your thoughts out there and get feedback on your thoughts. No other place can you do that without being censored heavily. So
I don't have any fear posting anything on X. I really don't. And I think, and you guys can check me on this. I feel like we try to keep it pretty classy. I mean, there'll be a little bit of swearing occasionally and some rebuttal to things, and an occasional video that's bizarre, but most of that's all in good fun. And that really should be how it should work. I mean, if keep it classy, be informative, speak your mind. There shouldn't be an issue with that. Hate speech it doesn't have any ground. It shouldn't be there. But I like the idea of having the reach be minimized. I don't mind the reach being minimized. I really don't mind that approach. It should still be able to be heard, though.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, what happened to the days of, you remember, Playboy Channel, Rendezvous Channel, or as Jefe likes to say, the Rendezvous Channel. But okay, that stuff's out there and it's scrambled. But if you'd like to see it, you can pay this extra money. And we'll unscramble it for you. And you can watch as much porn as your eyes can handle. So I'm on X. I want to see what's on X. If I see something that offends me, that's not on X. That's not on the person that wrote it. That's on
you.
That's on me. And where did we lose that where did that paradigm go? Why is it now, I saw something that offended me, cancel that person. Fuck you. You went out looking for it. You dipshit. It's crazy.
You didn't have to look. You didn't have to follow that person.
Nope.
But it's a lot like everything else, though. It all comes down to personal responsibility. If you're not going to take personal responsibility, well, you're going to go ahead and try and make somebody else take responsibility for you? I don't want responsibility for anybody else. Go fuck yourself. Seriously. No thanks. Yeah. I'm good.
Yeah, I got enough shit to deal with on my own. I don't need your shit too. Yeah. Anyway, we will, our commitment to you, all of our listeners, we'll be following this story. I won't say closely because I think there's other stuff going on, but we're not going to let this one die and fade off into the background. We'll make sure that we have at least one or two other updates on how this is going because it could send out some pretty big ripples.
Oh, it totally could. And there's going to be other things as the EU challenges X. And this is one of the reasons why I don't mind paying a subscription to X.
Yeah.
You know what? I mean, there's worse things for me to, sink my money into. Mike, in chat, I remember whacking off to steel drum music in my youth.
Yep.
That's cool. All right. Dan Crenshaw's eye patch. It's because people are self-important jagoffs. Yes, I completely agree with that. And ZZ Top heard it on the X new theme song. Oh, interesting idea. All right, that's good. That's a good idea, Beard.
That could revitalize ZZ Top.
We are at an hour. How has that beer gone for you?
Okay, I'm glad you asked. I thought my first 2 or 3 sips were wild. Dude, I've been on a fucking adventure over here, a quest, a quest to find out what the next sip was going to bring. I shit you not, every sip of this beer, it's one of those beers, when you take a sip and then you look down at it, you're like, whoa, that was cool, or that was different, or what's going on in there? Did something fall in my beer that I need to look at? I've done that every time I've taken a drink of this beer. There is something new, something just a little bit extracurricular going on with every sip. I mean, you have your base beer. It is a farmhouse style beer, but then you have that wild, and I don't know for sure, but it's got to be a Brett or some kind of just wild yeast they threw in there. It's crazy. This thing's this is like watching popcorn pop at the end where you're not sure which kernels are still going to go off and which ones aren't. Sometimes I get earthy. Sometimes I get way high notes of just super sour, fuck me in the butt. And then the next sip you'll have oh my God, I could just settle down with a nice book on a Saturday afternoon and sip this beer. It's crazy. Yeah. I don't know what to make of it other than the fact I really fucking like it. These guys
Is it a summer beer?
Yes. Yeah, I would say it is. Although, if you're in the right mood, which, I tell
you are.
I tell all females in my life, if you're in the right mood, I mean, anything will go in. So
if you try hard enough, I mean,
anything will fit. And if you're in the right mood, so if you're in the right mood, you could definitely justify this, on Christmas Day. So it's really crazy beer, but really fun. I'm not saying it's a sex beer. I'm saying this is going to be hard to beat for as far as which one I'm taking to bed, because this is the frickin' wild ass blonde that you could, shit shower and a shave. You could take her to, the orchestra and all eyes would turn, but you could also take her to a punk rock show and she's going to hair whip everybody out of the fucking mosh pit for you. This gal can go anywhere. She's wild. Anyway, right. I like it. What about your beer?
It's just absolutely caramel boozy goodness.
Nice.
I haven't had an ale song like this probably ever. I didn't expect it to be as good as it ended up being. Really, really happy with it. It does have a syrupy mouthfeel to it, though.
Yeah, I mean, which is
I don't
a little
hate.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's what I was gonna say. If you're in a Scotch ale, they're usually They usually bubble in your mouth. You got the bubbles.
I liked it. Absolute trouble. It's a 13%er. So, or I'm sorry, 11.3. Pardon me.
Oh, okay. All right.
Still, that's still up there. All right.
Oh yeah.
Let's get after beer 2, shall we?
Love it. Let's do it.
All right. So getting into beer 2, Fitz, by the way, Mike was very gracious and let us know that you can watch scrambled porn on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
It's like, I'm guessing it's like taped, right? Let me actually bring this up here. Oh, see, this is.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I came of age with that.
So, for everybody,
like every once in a while, you'd see a perfectly shaped
like
boob.
a nipple. I was like
Yeah,
in there.
right.
Yeah.
Right.
And it was like.
Yeah.
So, I used to have a TV that I would mess with the RA settings or RF settings.
Yeah.
And I could like get it to stay
Yes.
on there just a little bit.
Yes. I believe, and Jefe, check me on
enjoy
this.
the shit out of
I know you're going to be listening to this in the car, but check me on this. I believe I used a pair of vice grips one time, and I sharpened up the signal enough. We saw some bush. Check me on that, but I'm pretty sure I remember that.
I'm really glad you said that you straightened up the signal
With a pair of vice grips. Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't go where.
Well, because
thought it was gonna
I didn't want to just hold it back there, so I was like, well, I know vice grips will just like clamp on and just stay. So, it was like a makeshift, rabbit ears kind of situation. Hey, sorry I took so long, by the way, to get back. Two things happened to me. Number one, first thing was a good thing, which is that you let us off. You took us into break with Nina Simone.
Oh yeah.
And she is and will always be my queen. Like Nina Simone. That song specifically, but I'm gonna go on record. Any of the songs that she sang, there is not another person on this planet that could have sang it. Not one. You can't pull off a song like that unless you have that voice. People have tried, and I'm like, yeah, you're rubbish. Get out of here. But Nina Simone, every single time, and I don't even have like a sexual response to her. She sings to my soul. Like she makes my soul whole again. She is a Band-Aid for the soul. So any of you who might be going through it, or you just need to pick me up, or you just need to just tune out from the world for a while, put on some Nina Simone, close your eyes, and enjoy yourself. Get a good beer. Anyway, so I couldn't just leave right away because I had to sing along with Nina, which I have no voice, but I pretend I do. And then the beer I chose, which I'm so excited to talk about this beer. And I know you're going to go first, but the beer I chose had the fucking, the wax dripped on over the top of it.
Oh,
and
all right.
I could not get the fucking wax off to get to the bottle cap to open the goddamn thing. I was so, I wish you guys could have heard me. I should have been recording. I mean, I said some funny shit because I was combining curse words that shouldn't be combined. Like asshole boner. I don't know where that came from, but I said it.
I'm not sure where you'd go with an asshole boner anyway. I mean,
that's what I said. Because I was like, well, is that an innie or an outie? Or is it both?
It sounds like you're projecting.
But maybe you're injecting. I don't know. Anyway,
it could be. You're right.
That was a long break, and I apologize. I'm back. I have my beer. I got it open magically. I have Nina Simone has filled my soul. I am so ready for the second half of the show. What are you drinking?
All right. Barrel-aged flat black. This is by Mason Ale Works. Pastry stout with Guatemalan cocoa nibs and vanilla. Aged in Willet rye barrels for over 24 months. This is a 14.5. I told you, I'm rolling heavy tonight.
Yeah.
I had to. So, pours epic black. I'm not going to say it's viscous. We're not talking motor oil here, but it is definitely black. Smells like a donut.
Okay.
It's a chocolate donut.
Okay.
Oh, so sweet. So much chocolate. No booze. Oh, that's decadent. That's a dessert beer and a half. That's going to be tough to get through. Oh, fuck. Oh, man.
Well,
damn.
Maybe you need a palate cleanser kind of, in between. Sometimes I'll have like a like an Izzy. Do you know what an Izzy is? Like, I don't drink sodas, but they're kind of like natural fruit sodas. And
No, I've never
and
had one.
they're a little sour, they're a little tangy, but they don't have any like fake sugar in them or like refined sugar. It's just fruit sugars. So they're a little bit they're not healthy, but they're better for you than like say a Coke. Anyway, I'll have one of those with me when I'm drinking a beer like that, just to balance out that really sweet, heavy, rich with the kind of lighter, soury, sweet. So I don't know. Maybe that's maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe just fuck it. Maybe just shotgun it. I don't know.
I'm going with it. It is hot.
Okay. Okay.
The booze that you get, it has a heat to it, but it's not like you're not getting the bourbon taste. You're not getting the flavor from it. We'll see how it warms up a little bit. I don't know that it's as cold as I probably would have preferred it. But damn, it is a for a 14.5. That is a sweet, sweet dessert beer. Wow.
Nice.
Whew. All right. What do you got?
Well, funny story. Everybody knows I like to tell stories, so there's always a story behind a beer, especially one like this. And the story goes like this. I went into one of my favorite places to find beer here in town, the Beer Stein. We went there for dinner, but then, it was kind of a dual purpose for being there. Let's eat some dinner and let's have a couple of good. They have they're up to like 30 taps now, and they're constantly changing. So you never know what's going to be in there. So I knew I was going to get some good beer, good food. And then they have a whole cooler section. That's where you and I went, McShane, when you were here.
Yeah.
Picked out a lot of good stuff. Yeah. So I went in there. I was like, you know what? I'm going to pick at least one sort of over the top expensive beer. Not ridiculous, like not a $70 beer. I wasn't going to go ridiculous, but
Right.
but just, I had a couple things that happened this week that were just kind of like, all right, I made that. I made it through that, and I made it through that. So I'm just gonna
little victory
a
dance. A little victory dance.
Yeah.
All right.
So I go and I choose this beer, and I'm so excited to drink it. I'm so happy I found it. It's from Fremont Brewing.
Okay.
Which they do a lot of good stuff, but this is from their Spice Wars series. The fucking artwork on this is incredible because it's like an old world parchment paper placed on the bottle with this fucking badass black and white dragon on there. And I mean, it looks like a very old world beer. And this was a limited series, limited release from 2020. So this is an old beer. This is at least 4 years old. Probably they bottled it in 19 and called it a 20. So we might be verging on, 4.5, 5 year beer here. And their Spice Wars series was a bunch of imperial stouts that they just did different shit to every year. And they're still continuing it. This is probably something that I'm going to have once or twice throughout the year on the show because it's worth it.
Okay.
But yeah, that one down there, lower left with the dragon on it, that's the one I have. See how they all have different animals and stuff? Nope. Yep. No. The one that was next to that one.
This one.
Anyway.
Bourbon Barrel Aged Dark Star.
Yeah, Dark Star. That's it.
All right. 14.8.
So, you bet. So you're rolling heavy.
Party in your mouth.
I am also rolling heavy. So what's cool about this, when they did their Spice Wars, what they did was they combined a blend of their 24, 18, 12, and 8-month bourbon barrel aged Dark Star beers. So This is a blend of all. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm going to get all kinds of cool shit with this. Anyway, so to the to the end of the story, the fucking kind of cool thing that happened, but it was also like, is I picked it out of the cooler. It was a $34.95 beer. Like
Okay.
that's significant. That's like a chump of change for like one drink, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
I pick out a few other beers. I go up there, and the guy's like, "Oh, it had a little blue star stuck on the top." He's like, "Oh, that's one of our Blue Star beers." He's like, "Did you know we have this thing going on?" I'm like, "What thing?" He's like, "You get 20% off that beer." I'm like, "What?"
Get the
So
fuck
boom,
out of here.
Yeah, so it knocked it down to like $28. And then he's like, "Oh, and you got a 6-pack, so you get the 6-pack discount. So you get another 15% off of everything." So I probably got this beer for like $24.
That's
Which is
fantastic.
it's great. But I just wanted to splurge, and I couldn't even splurge on it. So anyway, I'm very excited to taste it, because regardless of what I paid for it, it's a fucking $40 beer easy. So let's see what we got. Yeah.
This year's release is a blend of 24, 18, 12, and 8-month bourbon barrel-aged Dark Star in 7 12-year-old Kentucky bourbon barrels.
See, we all have some Kentucky in us. Holy good God.
That might be the name of the show.
I hope so.
I'm not sure
All
where
right.
I go with the screen. I don't know where we go with the show art, but we'll see. Mr. Hand, maybe. I don't know.
I'm picturing something from Deliverance. Although I think that was more Blue Ridge, like
yeah, that's
like
West Virginia.
Tennessee area. Yeah, West Virginia. Thank you. Okay. Right off the bat, first of all, this thing is like, you could have, if you tried to watch the eclipse through this beer, you wouldn't have seen anything. It's black as midnight. It's a fucking black hole. Zero head on it. I mean, there was a little bit of head when it poured, but that's gone. And now I'm just drinking oil. But the most delicious. So there's a little bit of chocolate, a little bit of caramel, but I'm really getting some nice vanilla, earthy kind of, I won't say dirt, but I'll even go back to that first beer. I'm getting some bark in this. But that's
the walnut.
Yeah, okay, there.
Oak,
that's exactly
tobacco, walnut. That's what you're getting.
There it is. Yeah. So, and then it is a 14.7, like you said. So it's boozy. I mean, you know that this is a night ender. I'm going to go to bed after this. and this is, but you're going to go to bed with some sweet dreams. I mean, this is really good. So it's funny, the dichotomy I had in beers, because I had the Wild Blonde for my first beer. This is the dark, sultry, and I hate to bring up Morena again, but this is like Morena in a glass. The girl from Deadpool, Morena Saccharin or whatever. Yeah. So God damn, this is good. And I apologize if I go off the rails any more than I already have, because I know I've been all over the place tonight. This beer is going to send me over the edge. So let's just fucking have fun with it. Let's just have fun with it.
That's the main point. Just have fun with it every time.
Wow, that's good.
Somehow John Denver came up in chat. I'm pretty sure it's because of West Virginia, and he was full of shit.
That John Denver was full of shit. Yeah, that's from Dumb and Dumber. Oh God.
Aaron,
So
black
good.
hole, zero head reminds me of college. Oh God. Yes.
Ay.
Yeah. You and me both, brother. Yeah.
Can I just can I just say, I know I say some pretty fucked up shit, but with the chat room that we have, it doesn't matter what we say, somebody can make something sexual out of it.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
so
Every one of these,
and I love that. Yeah. I love
We're
that
all
about
degenerates,
you guys.
and I appreciate that.
I'm just
it's
saying
amazing.
that, like, this is who we attract, dude.
Yeah,
This is who we attract.
Absolutely.
And I'm not apologizing. I love it.
No, there's nothing to apologize for.
Yeah.
You know what? There is stuff to apologize for.
Yeah?
Did you know?
Oh, you're gonna bring this out? Okay.
Yeah, because
All right.
I know you want to rail on this one. I know you.
All
This
right.
is like this, dude. This is like your. This is whiskey. This has been a night of whiskey hell, calling shots and having it come true. We had NPR
Vindication.
first. Now we've got vindication between hoax, climate data.
Yeah. Yeah, and a huge shout out to Zero Hedge again. I feel like we mention these guys, these people. I don't know who they are.
Oh, it's a crew of like journalists. It's a conglomerate.
Yeah, and I just appreciate them so much. I love that every article is written by Tyler Durden, and
Yep.
that, like, on a long enough timeline, everybody's survival rate goes to 0. I mean, their whole shtick, whatever they have going on, it's fucking working, and I love it. Anyway, they put out this article about what's happening with with climate change, but specifically with data collection and our temperature gauges. And what do you know? Most of those weather stations, those temperature gauges, don't even exist. And yet they're still using data from them, and they're just making it up. They're just plugging numbers in. They're making estimates saying, well, 180 miles that way, it was 2 degrees over. And 400 miles that way, it was one degree. It's
gotta be that. Yeah.
Over. So somewhere in the middle, it's probably, 1.5 degrees higher than. So they're literally making shit up. And I mean, they got to the point where they basically said 1 in 3 weather stations it's made up. It's completely made up, false data. 1 in 3. So if you want to skew, if you're looking to skew numbers, that's about the number you would need to start skewing it in the way you need it.
Absolutely. Isn't it amazing how that works?
Isn't it? So yeah, I mean, when we first saw this article, and you first sent it, and you're like, hey, you're gonna have a huge rage boner when you read this. I did, and I got all kinds of worked up. But actually, you know what? At this point in the week, and in this show, and for our audience, honestly, this is one of those where I'd like to sit back, I'd like to cross my arms, and just smile, because God damn it, fucking A, there is no climate crisis. These people are making it up, and don't give up your fucking gas vehicle. That's it.
You know what? Let's take a drink for it.
Let's cheers to that. Amen.
Cheers to ghost stations.
Wow, that beer is incredible. I'm having a special night, dude. Either one of these beers would have come right over the top of what I've been having lately, and now I'm having them both on the same night. This is wow.
You're having a night.
Yeah, I am.
Make sure you check show notes. Go into show notes and look at the article. We can't do it justice. They are physically gone, but still report data like magic, said Lieutenant Colonel John Shuchuk, a certified consulting meteorologist. NOAA fabricates temperature data from more than 30% of the 1,218 USHCN reporting stations that no longer exist. He calls them ghost stations. So when somebody tells you, "Hey, we need to save the climate, the Earth. We only have 2 years."
Yep. It's such an obvious hoax. They're making up shit. They God damn it. Somebody found that they had made up data from a temperature post down in, I think it was Panama. And they tried to like lower the temperature and say that it was like 3 degrees cooler in Panama back in the 1800s. And then the community notes were just awesome because people were coming like, back in the 1800s, people were just trying to fucking survive malaria down there because it was so hot, because there were so many mosquitoes. People were like, they couldn't live there because they were all dying. What do you mean a temperature station? What are you talking about? Like, it was pretty incredible. I mean, more and more we keep finding out that what they're trying to make us believe is not true. And this is
it's memory holding, right?
Right. Well, yeah, for sure.
The first foreign
Grand
Master.
Yep.
Grand Master champion for sumo wrestling. This dude was 6'8", 500 pounds. He would have made me look like a little bitch. Just an absolute beast of a man and a fierce warrior on the. I mean, I never got into sumo wrestling as much, but it was always a weird fascination. Like, you're watching these dudes just fucking go, just hammer down on each other. It's carnal. There's no wrestling involved. It's just sheer. I'm going to put my strength and weight up against yours, and I'm going to fucking jack you. That's what it comes down to. And he was just an amazing, amazing individual.
Yep. Yeah, I'm with you. I share a fascination with sumo. I probably have gotten into it a little more heavy. Oh shit. I feel like we're hearing, yep, we do have a Jefe sighting. So let's table the Akebo conversation. Jefe, how's it going?
It's going.
All right.
Talking about sumo?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we're talking. Yeah, yes, exactly.
Would you ever wear a sumo outfit, Jefe?
Probably never again. No, that was a crazy Halloween.
Hey, well, I mean, yeah,
that was.
But you survived it. That was the matter. That was the best part.
To be honest with you, I thrived it. I didn't just survive it.
The key to those outfits is just copious amounts of anal nitrate, and then you're fine.
True, so true, so true.
Jefe, do you have your farm report? Are you ready?
We're doing the farm report now.
Oh yeah.
Well, are you coming back a third time?
No, I don't think so. Well, no, I don't know. Maybe.
All right, then let's hit it, as the kids say.
All right. So, do you know what farmers wear?
Wait, can you say that one more time?
Yeah.
Do you know what farmers wear?
I would say overalls.
Yeah.
Overalls, jeans.
Yep.
And the exact beginnings of overalls are unclear, but they can be traced back as early as 1776, when the slaves out in the fields would wear them to protect their clothes from being dirtied up and stuff by the soil. And if you want to dress like a farmer but not wear the overalls, a good tip is to wear maybe a baseball cap or a cowboy hat and some work boots. Thank you, Google. That's your farm report.
This is
I have to say,
one of the best bits we've ever done. I appreciate that so much.
Yeah. You, sir, are a one-winged bird. You don't even have a left wing. You are all right wing. You fly in circles.
You're a bird extremist because you only have one right wing.
Oh my god.
That was such a nugget of knowledge that I got looking up. How does one look like a farmer without dressing like a farmer? And there it was, and I decided to share that with everybody, free of charge.
I feel like we need like a farm report, like 1-900 number. So you'll get like $1 a minute or something, and people just call and just get an update every day.
I like this. That could help sponsor our noodling team.
Yes. Yes.
It really could.
I do have to say I appreciate. I've talked about it on the show before, but like I come from a whole family of farmers on both sides, my mom and my dad, and but especially my mom's side, they are like, some of them are still farming. The man that my grandmother married after she divorced my grandfather. It's weird. My grandma's like a theme in the show tonight, but
yeah.
The plastic guy that she divorced was also a farmer, but the new guy she married was also a farmer, and he has a huge cattle ranch out in Kansas. And And when you were describing what farmers wear, that's it. It's every fucking day. It's blue jeans, a fucking flannel, shirt, button up shirt, and a cowboy hat. Or when he's really feeling frisky, it's a ball cap. It's a John Deere ball cap. It says John Deere on it. That's Morris. That's how he dresses every day of his life. Doesn't matter if he's going to church, if he's going to a funeral, if he's going to a fucking party, if he just woke up on a Sunday. Like, that's how the man dresses. I think he probably showers like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's
what?
nothing wrong with that. I mean, at least you feel good in your own skin. That's
who you are. You know who you are.
Yeah, absolutely. Beard, while wearing my work boots, jeans, and a flannel pattern button down, I got into my little Hyundai and heard a woman next to me say, "He drives that."
Yeah, you need a fucking Ford Ranger.
That's right.
Or
Beard,
or a F-250. I don't know.
God damn it, that was fucking amazing.
That's
your grandma was one of the sweetest women I've ever met. So I don't mean to be offensive when I say this, but it sounds like she kind of had a farmer fetish.
That's not offensive at all. In fact, I think she would take that as a compliment.
Yeah.
Did she pick up Morris on Only Farmers?
No. Do you know, actually, that's a crazy fucking story. She went back to Kansas. She was still living in Phoenix. She went back to Kansas because her sister went through a knee surgery and she needed help on the farm. So my grandma went back there to help her, and she was in the fucking grocery store shopping for her sister. And she smelled a cologne. I shit you not. She smelled a cologne she recognized from her high school sweetheart from like fucking 40 years earlier.
No.
Oh, yeah. She's like, I know that cologne. That has to be
fucking Morris.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
Morris.
she goes over to the next aisle, and there's Morris. And what do you know? His wife of, I don't know, 900 years just had previously passed away like 6 months earlier.
Okay, good. I was going to say, because if she shanked her, that would be such a great story.
No. My grandma was no, she wasn't that gangster. No. The gangster didn't start till I was born. Well, no, that's not true. My mom gave me my gangster. No, but my grandma, so she goes into the next aisle, they hit it off. They do like a Jefe, like a 6-month courtship, and then they get married. Jefe was there for the wedding. He filmed it. I was one of the best men.
That's awesome.
I gave away, and then my grandma moves back to Kansas and, happily ever after and all that. But crazy story.
That is a hell of a story. I thought it was going to just be Morris, but wearing the same cologne of her high school crush.
Oh, no.
Somebody else.
Dude, do you know how pimp it is that you're gonna have a cologne that you pick when you're like 16 and you're like, this is my shit. I'm doing this until I die. And then you meet your high school sweetheart later because you're still wearing that same shit. That's pimp. That's pimp.
I still smell perfume on women that my first girlfriend wore. And she was my first, but she's not really
nothing to write home about.
No, she wasn't special to you or anything.
Right. But her perfume, it was, I think it was Poison. I mean, the name of it.
Okay, go on. Tell us more.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think it was Poison. You're right.
Yeah. But yeah, I pick up that scent from women and that like takes me right back. It's crazy.
Same.
I was going to try and figure out a way to try and transition us into countries with the largest penis size because Daily Mail did a lot of work putting an interactive map out for this because that's what they're worried about. But I feel like Cologne is like kind of taking over the.
No. I mean, isn't Cologne like that's your way to express your penis size?
Yeah.
Because I feel like men with small penises wear like, Victoria's Secret Vanilla Spice lotion.
Axe?
And then
who wears Axe then?
Oh, they're like the mid, the 4 to 6 inches. And then you have like the men who actually wear like real shit that you could shower like 4 times in a row and you'd still smell it.
Gotcha.
That's the 8 to 12 inch. And I don't know what the extreme guys wear. I don't know what I think they wear just like heifer musk or something. Like, I don't know. Like whatever they pull out of a fucking beaver's pouch, like that scent musk.
I'll tell you what they wear. They wear their cocks outside of their pants. That's all they need to do.
Yeah, or they just wear gray sweatpants and just let it.
Yes.
Just let the snake just dangle. Okay. So full disclosure, I found this map fascinating only from the sense of, and again, we're male. We are obsessed with our own penises and how they measure up to the guy next to us, let alone how they measure up to the world. And I know women are obsessed with penises too, and penis envy and all that, but it's a different thing for us guys. It's like, well, I don't necessarily have to be the biggest, but I sure as shit don't want to be the smallest. And so this map is like really interesting to me, just in the size range. Did you guys find that too?
So I kind of latched onto a couple of things. One, the geopolitical implications of this, I thought were really fascinating.
Yes, totally.
When you think about
world economies,
who has money and who doesn't, and kind of that kind of stuff. But I mean, I found it fascinating. I really did. The average penis size in America is 5.35, whereas Cuba, it's 6.24. A communist nation.
By the way, they're saying that this is an erect penis. Erect.
Yes. Yeah.
This isn't flaccid. Yeah.
Flying at full staff. Haiti, 6.3 inches.
Which I really wish I would have been a part of this study. Yeah. Because is there a hot nurse that's like, okay, thank you for being a part of the study. We have to get you hard now. So here's my double D's. You're allowed to touch me, but only to the point that you get erect, and then you have to stop. Like, I'm in. Like, let's do this. Or do you just watch porn? You just watch scrambled porn and just hear the steel drums going? Or how does that work?
I want to find out.
And yes, Mike, Asia is near the bottom. Some of the Asian countries are I think the lowest on the scale is 3.5 inches or 3.95 inches erect, which, I'm sorry, that's basically an enlarged clit. I've seen clits bigger.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is.
In Vegas, but I've seen them.
Yeah. I wonder if there's any. I want to know if there's any kind of, because we're so far left leaning here in the States now, and we'll just call it communist America, because if you look at the correlation here, 5.35 inches for the United States, 5.2 inches for Russia, 5.15 inches for China. I mean, that's your three heavy hitters, right?
Yeah.
Our penises are not very big. Maybe there's a problem there. I mean, Canada kind of fucks everything up because nobody believes whatever Canada is doing, but their penis size is 6.19 inches. I think they're all fucking lying.
In the Yukon territory, you're a liar. Yeah, exactly. 100%. Well, and let's be honest. I mean, the U.S. average is brought up by all the black dudes that are here.
Yeah, no, totally.
I mean, imagine if we didn't have slavery back in the 1700s.
So DEI has actually helped our penis size.
Yes.
Thank God for DEI.
I have to say, I don't know how they're measuring this. I guess they're getting a ruler and they're going from base to tip. And are you taking the curve into account? Because some guys get really curvy.
I didn't get measured.
Right. I didn't either, but I'm just saying, how are you measuring this? Because Anyway, I'm just saying I'm
Well,
helping
it's
the
world
US.
data. It's world data.
I'm
Fitz,
bringing the
so-
average up. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah, I gotta go.
All right, F8.
All right, man.
Later.
Yes.
Later, dude.
So you can go to worlddata.info/average-penis-size.php. Yeah, this is a legit thing. You guys can go check it out by country. Every country's in there.
And where do I'm not trying to be an asshole. I promise. I mean, maybe a little bit, but like, where do trans people fall on this? Like, do they get measured? Like, if you were you were
it's
born
just
a
about the
female,
penis size. It's just about the penis size. It doesn't matter.
so
Gender
you were born
doesn't
a
matter.
female,
Right.
You
So
went
can be
through gender
Yep.
reassignment, and now you
Yep.
can get measured because
Yeah.
from everything I understand, they don't do a good job of making those very big.
Well, right. Well, I don't see how you can omit them. I mean, if we're talking scientific data, there has to be an addendum or something to the study that would say nobody who was, who transitioned was included in this study.
Well, then our penis size here in the U.S. for sure is going to be going down in the following decades. I mean,
It could be.
If we keep going the way we're
very
going.
well could be. Let's have some fun, right? Shall we? Let's go to. Nothing happened during the eclipse, right? Not
What
a
a
goddamn
fucking joke.
thing. This is fun, right?
Okay, no.
Representative Sheila Jackson.
Yeah.
No.
This is
yes?
no. Go ahead. I just want to say what did happen was all the morons got to come out and shine their light. And this is one of them.
Representative Sheila Jackson after this goddamn commercial.
So that you have the energy of the moon at night, and sometimes you've heard the word full moon, and sometimes you need to take the opportunity just to come out and see a full moon is that complete rounded circle, which is made up mostly of gases. And that's why the question is why or how could we as humans live on the moon? Are the gases such that we could do that? The sun is a mighty powerful heat that is almost impossible to go near the sun. The moon is more manageable.
So the moon is made out
God.
of gases, and it's more manageable than the sun. It's too hot.
That hurts. That just hurts my insides on every level. I mean, that's like moron with a capital M. And I like that she's like the sun is almost impossible to get near. By your definition, almost would mean that we could get there. We can't. I'm here to tell you, you fucking idiot. We can't get within 1 million miles of the sun. We never have and never will. Those temperatures melt everything we know of. Every element known to man, every element known to the universe melts at those temperatures. So no, you can't get close to the sun, period. And the moon is more manageable because it's not made of gas. Jesus Christ. I can't believe I actually have to say that.
It's
What?
surreal. And this is a representative. This is somebody who this is an elected official.
Yeah.
Biden White House pressured fact checkers Snopes to change ratings, according to internal communications officials from the Joe Biden regime. Successfully pressured the checking website Snopes, which Snopes used to be a big deal.
Yeah, they were.
You can't trust them anymore. This is from the National Post. Snopes to change its rating on a fact check regarding a prospective federal ban on gas stoves. Sent over a tough letter to this writer yesterday when the initial claim was rated as mixed. Consumer Product Safety Commission, CPSC, Communications Director Pamela Rucker Springs bragged in an email to the White House Assistant Press Secretary Michael Kikukawa, linking to an updated fact check. Kikukawa responded saying the change was so helpful. Initially, Snopes had issued a mixture rating on claims the Biden regime was contemplating a ban on gas-powered stoves, influenced by statements by Richard Trumka Jr., a member of the CPSC. Trumka Jr. said such a ban was on the table and that CPSC was weighing regulations drastically reducing emissions or banning gas stoves entirely. So, Snopes downplayed it and said, yeah, well, it's just a mixture rating, but none of that happened until the Biden administration leaned on him.
I mean, this is dysfunction at the highest level. I mean, we all have
corruption.
Families and yeah, but this is where the system, whatever system was in place, whatever system was there to try and make things work the correct way, it's been warped so badly. Again, I go back to what I said earlier. You go so far one way that you actually end up coming around back to the thing that you hate. And I feel like that's what this is. These, and I'll go with your word. These corruptions are so bad that we don't have a functional government anymore. We have government entities that are not anything close to what we wanted or elected for. They are just doing the bidding of wherever the money is. That's what this is. And it's at every level. I mean, A to Z. It's insanity, and yet we put up with it. And I don't know why. And I don't know how to stop it. I guess that's why we put up with it, because I don't know what to do about it. We can't.
Well, you need to be really careful. You need to be very, very careful, Fitz, because if you talk out against some people, you're just a racist, regardless of what your point is.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like if I went into
with people, who evidently had a racist attitude, and recently one even confronted me in a restaurant, and they don't say racist things, but what they say is they don't like something I said. They don't like a position that I took. But that, if you were not Black, you would not be approached that way.
They probably would not. They would think twice about doing it. They think that they can get away with doing it with you, and that you're.
Maxine Waters, Fitz, you can't even talk to her though, because if you don't want to, if you say that her backing of gas stoves or any of her other elements, anything that she backs, if you don't like it, well, you're racist, Fitz. And don't you dare talk out against her.
Is that kind of like, and I'm just spitballing here, but is that kind of like how Black folks are allowed to use the N-word, but if I say it, I'm racist? Is that kind of like that? It kind of
sounds like it.
Is that kind of like that? I don't know. The fuck are you talking about, you fucking idiot? So if I disagree with you, I'm racist. But if my buddy McShane says the same thing and I disagree with him, I'm not racist.
Correct.
Or anybody I know who's of Caucasian persuasion, it's not racist. But anybody who has any sort of melanin in their skin, now it's racist.
Yep.
Like
it's
racist. That's where we've gotten to, is that the amount of melanin in your skin determines how much racism you have to endure. And I'm sorry. I'm not saying this as a blanket statement. I'm saying the world I grew up in, the attitudes I had, I never gave a shit. If you were a cool person and you were fun to be around and you could deal with my fucking inadequacies, then you were my friend.
You're a good dude. Whoever.
I never looked at the color of your skin. Never. In my Kung Fu family, is it only the Asian guys that are good at Kung Fu? No. We're all good at it. We all practice. It doesn't matter the color of our skin. We dedicate ourselves to this practice. And we all tolerate one another. We all get along with one another because we're all there for the same moral and ethical and studies, educational reasons. We're not there because we're all Chinese or we're all white. We're there because we share a common goal.
Well,
Where did
not
that
a
go?
Qualifier. And that stuff is not a qualifier because we're going to go ahead and just ignore the overall goal, which in Maxine Waters' case should be to make America the absolute pinnacle of all countries on earth. That should be the goal. Agreed. But she can't get there because somebody is, you disagree with me? You're not going to vote for me? Well, it must be because I'm black. It has nothing to do with it. It's because you're a shitty human being. It's because you're a shitty representative. It has nothing to do with anything other than that. Yeah, people disagree with you, and if you can't deal with somebody disagreeing with you, get the fuck out of your business. Yep. You're in the wrong one.
Yep. Yeah, I'm actually more up in arms about something like this than I am about the weather stations reporting false data. I've been saying that so long. It's like, okay,
yeah, because this putz is leading people. Yeah, this putz is leading people astray.
Exactly. This makes me mad.
Hey, how many sit-ups can you do?
Dude, this one made me mad too. And like, not mad where I not mad like the last story maybe. This one just made me mad of like, what are we doing? Okay. So I don't know if any of you have seen these alpha male camps. Have you seen these videos?
We need to do a night on alpha male camps. I didn't see enough on it to throw something in there because we had too much other stuff to talk about. But next week maybe we'll do alpha male camps.
Okay, we need to do some alpha male camps. But there's this movement out there of men who have lost their way. They don't know. They're not sure what it is to be a man, so they're going to these camps. And that's, I'm not going to get into that tonight because we'll do it on a future episode.
Okay.
But that all leads into, right? That all leads into this article here that the CIA wants to hire, and this is literally how the headline is written. The CIA wants to hire super fit agents, but only if you can do this many sit-ups in a minute. Okay. So the number of sit-ups are what? What is it? 16, 17, 18? I don't.
So 27 sit-ups, 18 push-ups in just 1 minute.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you that just to pass my minimums for boot camp when I was in the military, my minimums for boot camp. And
remember, you were also buds trained, so you were like at the door for SEALs.
Okay, but this was just boot camp before SEALs ever even became a thing. Yeah. This was boot camp. I had to be able to do 60 sit-ups, 60 in a minute, 60 or more, but that's less than, you have to do more than one a second. Right. Like you have to pump them out. And these people are asking for less than one every other second to be a super fit agent. And then they talk about 18 push-ups. Dude, I'm telling you, I'm 49. I am not in the best shape of my life. I am trying to maintain, but I know I'm not there. And these minimum qualifications would be, I could do this shit in my sleep. And I'm not bragging. I'm saying it's ridiculous. 27 and 18, and they don't even mention pull-ups. Like when buds came around, the minimums were you had to be able to do 10 pull-ups minimum without a break in 30 seconds. 10. They don't talk about that at all. They're just like, hey, can you sit up if you fall down? Can you push yourself up if you fall down? That's all they're asking. It's not, can you climb over a wall? Can you pull someone out of a river? They don't care about any of that anymore. It's just, can you get up if you fall?
Are our high caliber fucking Central Intelligence. Okay, these are our spies. Okay, these are our elite warriors.
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
These guys are supposed to be the tip of the spear. And I'm not.
My God. No, they're the spear you don't even see coming. These are our ninjas. Right. No, these guys fucking suck.
I don't want to ignite beard here, but I have to say this. The U.S. Navy released a picture this week and it was supposed to be this rhetoric thing of like, hey, the U.S. Navy is, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're doing all the things. And the picture they chose was a soldier, yes. a sailor.
No, that was like an admiral person. Or something. No, that was an admiral.
Okay, some person who had a rifle, and he was shown shooting it out into the ocean. I don't know what he was shooting at. Maybe it was a killer whale or something. I don't know. He's shooting this weapon, and at first glance, if you don't know what you're looking at, it's like, wow, look at the U.S. Navy being badasses. But there are at minimum two things wrong with this picture. I mean, that he's firing the weapon incorrectly, and I've seen up to 5 things wrong with what he's doing. But the most glaring thing, the most ridiculous thing he's doing, is that the scope that he has is on backwards. The end that's supposed to be near your eye is at the long end of the rifle, the business end, and the end that's supposed to be where you look in is at the other end. It's so bad, and the U.S. Navy pulled it down fairly quickly. But what the U.S. Navy doesn't seem to understand is that the internet is going to take screenshots, and they're going to repost that about 1 trillion fucking times before you can take it down. And it was on the one hand, it was beautiful because we caught you being fucking morons. On the other hand, I can't tell you how embarrassed I was. I may never tell anybody ever again that I was in the Navy. I'm just going to say I was in the military. And I'm going to leave it at that. And if they ask what branch, I'm going to say that doesn't matter because I was in the military. Look at the part where you're supposed to be able to twist that little, the clicks to see how far out you are, your rangefinder.
Oh my God.
It's at the wrong end.
Goddamn retarded. It's fucking retarded.
So bad.
I don't use that word very often, but I'm going to say it now. It's fucking retarded. A commanding officer of the USS John McCain, an Arleigh Burke-class guided missile destroyer, was mocked online after he was photographed holding an assault weapon with its scope mounted backwards as he took aim at a target known as a killer tomato. I mean, it's a cool picture. Don't get me wrong. Picture. Until you really start looking at it, you're like, he's dumb.
Yeah, he's really at least dumb. An XO. He's at least an XO because he's got the fucking gold filigree on his hat. So he's at least
oh my God, it's just stupid.
A commander, which is so fucking disappointing. Like, basically what you're telling me is you graduated college and you got put into command of a vessel and you have no idea how to fire a weapon. That's what that picture tells me.
He's never going to be. He's never going up. He just needs to retire at this point.
And that's the other point. And I'm glad you brought that up. It's a 5.56 that he's shooting, and he's got that brace so high up his fucking shoulder. 5.56. First of all, 5.56 doesn't have that much kick, so you don't need to do it that way. Second of all, if it had a lot of kick, the way you're holding it would have fucking dislocated your shoulder, dude. Yeah. Moron, like capital M, capital O, capital R, like spell out the whole word in capitals. It's so embarrassing. I'm like I said, I am no longer a member of the U.S. Navy. I was in the military, and we'll leave it at that.
But doesn't it kind of point back to our whole role in the world, right? Especially when militarily speaking, when we talk about, we start off the show with World War III. We've got Iran they're shooting all these kind of ballistic missiles and got missiles falling all over Israel. Oh my gosh, all this kind of stuff's happening. But then we're going to go ahead and we're treating stuff so seriously that we want, our CIA people to be able to do 27, sit-ups and 18 push-ups. As long as you can do that in a minute, you're good to go. Nothing else is needed there, apparently.
I mean,
our military can't shoot a fucking rifle without having it on straight, the sight on straight. It's just we're an embarrassment. We used to be the fucking John Waynes of the military. We used to be the end all be all. We were the ferocious tigers that you don't fuck with. And I'm sorry, anybody around the world, we're as vulnerable as we've ever been. And there's no two ways about it. We're soft.
So there was an individual, a very large individual, kind of one of those men. Well, no. Okay, like that caliber. Like, he was such a large man, and he had such a commanding presence. And this is when I was in Buds. It was breakout, right when Hell Week starts. Okay, and he busts into your fucking tent, firing his weapon up in the sky. And he's like, if you fucking pussies want to become men, you're going to get up out of that cot right now and you're going to follow me. And maybe that's a like super sexist, like over the top misogynistic thing to say these days. But back in the day, that was like a call to arms. That was a, like, hey, you're done being a little boy today. Or you're not. Like, if you don't want to do this, if you don't want to step up to the next level,
the choice is yours. The choice is yours. Right.
That was what was so impactful for me, is that he left it up to us. If you want to A, B, C, D, E, follow me. If you want to stay in your fucking cot, stay in your cot. He didn't pick me up by the collar and throw me in the sand and say, you're an idiot. He just said, follow me. And I chose to, and some people didn't. I feel like we've lost that. And somewhere along the way, when we lost that, we got here where, as you said, we are the laughing stock. We are not what we used to be, what we should have been. Now, listen, there's still some guys out there that are at the tip of the spear. And like you said, even the guys that the spear that you don't even see is in your back. I know there's still people out there at the highest level in this country doing some amazing work.
Goddamn right. But there are some.
Absolutely. And they all deserve a huge shout out. They are doing things that I, morally was uncomfortable with, but I appreciate that you're out there, bro. Do your thing.
Whiskey Hill's final thoughts.
Fitz, I'm going to give you a second to pause here. There's a quote. This is by G. Michael Hoff, and it just keeps reoccurring and recurring. Hard times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men, and weak men create hard times. We are in a cyclical, historic time, and we have hard times coming. But we're going to have very strong men and women that are going to be born from that. And that, honestly, I try to hold on to that. What you got, Fitz?
Well, shit. I mean, I appreciate that a lot. Because I use that quote quite a bit. And I do feel like we are in that time. We are in hard times because we had a lot of weak men. I mean, we use the colloquial men, weak people, because there's a lot of strong women out there too who, were the backbone of the creation of this country. So it's not disparaging against women. It's just a way to make the quote fucking make sense. But I'll tell you what I have. I think we can sum up the whole week in just that sports little section we had in the show, which is we had one sports legend who allegedly and probably killed his wife and her lover because he was jealous. But because he was a minority and because he was an amazing athlete, athlete, which he was at the time, I'm not taking away from that, we excused it. Then we had another athlete who was, by all accounts, an amazing athlete, tremendously dominant in the culture. Which let's not forget, the Japanese are historically like the most xenophobic culture on the planet, and they let a Hawaiian-born sumo wrestler into their group. He fought his way up, literally. Every way you can fight, he fought, and became a grand champion and a grand master, which is, in the martial arts world, is very difficult to do, and he did it. And so he was the passing of a great man, a great master. And then we had, a New York Yankees, pitcher, Fitz, who somehow negotiated a bargain between him and another teammate that they were going to not only exchange wives, which already is like, how the fuck did you broker that deal? But also their children. They switched entire families, wives, families, kids, the whole deal. And somehow it was successful. And then he passed away. So all of those people passed away in this week. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, you have some people that were truly great that deserve to be honored. You have some people that we have propped up to be great, but they're actually pieces of shit. And then you have people that kind of fall under the radar who did great things, but we're not really sure what to do with it. And I think being able to divide those categories in our everyday lives and into geopolitics and into the economy and, all the things that we talk about on the show, like what's real, what isn't, what's worth giving your time to, what is a fake, who's the piece of shit that, you shouldn't give your time and money to. That's very difficult to sort of filter out these days. And we're doing our best together on this show to do that. And I think we do a pretty good job. But I also feel like there's some things that really slip through the cracks and are hard to negotiate on that front. So, I guess my final thought is keep asking questions, keep saying, is this someone I should pay attention to? Or is this OJ Simpson? Like,
is this
is
guy
this
a
someone
jerk
who
off?
I should, yeah. Should I just like dismiss him and you're a fucking piece of shit? You did some awful things. Fuck you. Or is this someone who literally negotiated, it would have been easier to negotiate peace in Israel than what Fitz did to like negotiate a wife and kid swap. And he did it. And he lived a happy life. And so did the other guy. So let's give our time and our energy to those who deserve it. And let's forget the other people. That's my final thought.
All right. My beer I'm taking to bed is the Kentucky Kilt by Ale Song.
Yes. Good choice.
Big time caramel. It was boozy but not overdone. It was a fantastic Scotch ale. Neither of these, both of these beers did exactly what they said they were going to do, right? One was a pastry stout, super decadent, super boozy for as decadent and desserty as it was. But the Ale Song Scotch ale was a little rude, but it made you feel okay. Like, just drink another, just have some more. It's great. It's the next level for Scotch ales. And I really appreciated that because you don't get, it's common for a Scotch ale to be like a 6.5, 7, but this one came in at 11. So it was special. It was really, really good.
I can't argue with any of that. I think from your descriptions, I probably would have chosen the same. Tough choice, but you got to go with what's hitting for you tonight, especially, when you're not feeling great. The one that's not is going to be less rude. That's the one you want. So, I'm kind of doing a one time. I'm laying down my my get off free card tonight, because I'm not choosing one of these beers over the other. And I'm not even choosing a threesome because I don't think either of these two beers mix with one another. I don't think you want the blonde that I had earlier mixed with this dark beer at all.
No,
but I
no,
will
no,
say
no.
But I will say, we have a mutual friend, John, who had an amazing day in his life, and I won't say it was the best day of his life, but he's talked about it several times, and he's not one to be given to, fabricating lies or even exaggerating. He's if you can say one thing about our friend John, it's that he's 100% honest. And he had a day in his life when he was single. He was on a bunch of dating apps. He also was friends with a madam at a massage parlor, which doubled as a whorehouse in the Phoenix metro area. And he was actually dating the madam. And so he had the day off. It was a Friday, but he took the day off for some reason. I don't remember. And so the madam called him and was like, "Hey, I have some free time. Do you want to get together?" And so he said yes, and they had a great time together and ended up having some amazing sex. And then this girl that he was dating on one of his dating apps was like, "Hey, I have an hour for lunch. Do you want to hook up?" Like basically booty call. And he was like, "Yes, absolutely." And so she came over and they did a booty call. And then the third girl, the hot blonde, who was just this party girl, was like, "Hey, I'm off work early. What are you doing?" And he's like, "Well, chance has it I'm at home." So she came over and they had sex.
Complete the Holy Trinity.
Girls. Yeah, he had 3 girls in one day. One of those girls ended up being his current wife, and they lived happily ever after. Right? It's a great story. And he said to this day he kind of feels bad that she was the third girl that day, but either way she was clearly the best, and so he went with his best choice that day. Anyway, so I'm throwing down my card and I'm saying that I want both of these, but I want them at different times. I can't pick a better one. I just want to have them both in the same day, but not at the same time. It's not a threesome. It's okay. You and I had fun, and now you and I are going to have fun. And that's where I'm going with my beer pick tonight. That was a really long way to say I liked both of these beers a lot. They're both very good, and they have both treated me really well.
You didn't want either one of them to feel bad. That was the main thing.
No. So, anyway.
All right.
There it is.
If you guys want to check us out, always download us wherever you guys get your shows from. Doesn't matter the app. We're there. Spotify, Apple, Outcast, whatever you guys want to look us up on. We're there. We're going to be there. Twitter, it is at @whiskey_hell, Whiskey Hell Pod on TikTok and on Instagram. Thank you very, very much for listening. Everybody in chat, Jerry Zero, Jobonic, L, Gray's Tap Room, Tabby, Crenshaw's other eye. God damn it. That's broken me like twice, Aaron. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Beard of Liberty, you two. Thank you guys for everybody for being here tonight. And I'm not going to say cheering us on because half of it's adding to the show and the rest of it's like trying to just like make us fucking lose our shit, which is so goddamn funny. You guys make it. We appreciate you guys being here, and we wouldn't have it any other way. It's as much a treat for us as it is for hopefully for you guys being here. So I'm Steve McShane.
I'm Fitz.
Think critically.
Act accordingly.
I'll talk to you soon.